Hey guys, welcome to our math lesson today. Now, for today's math lesson, we are done with our first Tara West book. We finished lesson 1.11 yesterday. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our Go Math book again today. So I need you to find your big, fat, orange Go Math book, and that's what we're going to be using today. Okay? That's all you're really going to need other than a pencil, and then you'll be ready. So, real quick, if you need to, pause your video, get your big, thick, fat Go Math book, that orange Go Math book, and a pencil, and then come on back, okay? Now, today we are going to be looking at our Go Math book lesson 2.1, and that's going to be on page 57, and it should look like this. Okay? Should look like this. So find page 57, and while you're doing that, I'm going to be telling you our I can statement for today, or our objective for today's lesson. So today, we want to be able to count groups of 10 that equal 100, and we might even go beyond 100, so we'll see, all right? So, we should be on page 57, okay? Now, we see, I'm going to tell you, this is an example of my friend Chad, and he had 100 pennies in a jar. And he dropped the jar, and they went everywhere, okay? Those pennies were bouncing all over the floor, they went under things, and we thought to ourselves, oh my goodness, how are we going to make sure that we have 100 pennies? Now, the first way that one of my friends said was, we can pick them up one at a time, and we can count it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, would that work? Could we pick up 100 pennies and count to 100 by ones? We could, right? Totally fine. But is there a faster way for us to pick up those pennies and make sure we have all 100? What if we counted in groups of 10? Okay, so what if we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I put those in and I went 10. And then my other friend picked up 10, and my other friend picked up 10, and my other friend picked up 10. And so then we were making sure that we got them in by saying 10, 20, 30, 40, right? So let's do that. Let's see how many times we could make a group of 10, okay? So you're going to take your pencil and you're going to circle a group of 10. So let's see. I'm going to count down. I'm going to count vertically to do my groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So I know that this is a group of 10. Did you circle a group of 10 like I did? Good job. All right. Now, if that's 10, then I know that the row beside it is probably 10 as well. So I'm going to draw a circle around that. Okay? So that's 2 groups of 10. We have 3 groups of 10. 4 groups of 10. 5 groups of 10. 6 groups of 10, 7 groups of 10, 8 groups of 10, 9 groups of 10, and 10 groups of 10. So let's see how much that is. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, that looks like a 6, but it's a 9, 100. All right, 100. So let's look at our math talk. How many ones are there in 3 groups of 10? So if I only had 3 groups of 10, how many 1 cubes is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There are 31 cubes in 3 tens. What about in 7 tens? How many 1 cubes are there in 7 10 rods? Think about it. 7 10 rods is the same thing as, did you say 70? You were correct. There are 70 of these little tiny 1 cubes in 7 10 rods, okay? Now, let's look at what comes next, all right? So you're going to flip over to our next page, all right? And we're going to look at the top of page 58, and we're going to look at our model and draw box. So yours is going to be purple in this purple square, or it's like a circular square up here at the top, okay? Now, we see that 10 rods, okay? You see these are our 10 rods, just like the ones that we use here, right? 10 rods is the same thing as 100, right? So let's count that. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, okay? So we know that if we push all of those together, that we make a hundreds flat, okay? So when we have 10 rods, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rods is the same thing as 100 flat, okay? So it's the exact same thing, we're just using different manipulatives, right? These are 10 rods, so we have to have more. This is a hundreds flat, so we only have one of those. And then we can write that down as what does this equal? What is the value? So what is the value of 10 tens? Or what is the value of 100 flat? We know the value of those things are 100. Okay? So 10 rods is the same thing as 100, and we write that as 100. Okay? Now, we're going to look down at number 1. Okay? Now, your page looks like this. We're going to look at the share and show section. It says, write how many 10 rods. Then circle groups of 10s to make 100 flat. And then write how many hundreds, and then we're going to write the value. So there's lots of steps to this. But if you follow the steps like Miss Gates tells you to, you should be perfectly good, okay? So the first step says write how many 10 rods there are, okay? So every single time, the only thing we're going to do first is count the 10 rods. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay? So right here on number 1, we see that there are 20 of these 10 rods, right? There's 20 of those. So we're going to write that down right here. 20 10 rods. Now, I don't want to have to count out all of those green 10 rods. It would take forever. So I want to know, can I make some trades and trade them for 100 flats? So we know from our model and draw that we have to have 10 rods to equal 100 flat. Okay? So here we go. Let's see if we have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, I'm going to show that I can trade that for a hundreds flat by circling it. And when I circled it, oh no, I don't have one. When I circled it, that shows that I can make 100 flat, okay? Let's see if we can make another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have enough to make another hundreds flat. Okay, so the first thing I did was I counted my 10 rods and I saw that I had 20 of them. And then I circled groups of 10s to see how many 100 flats I could make. I could make 1, 2. So I could make 200 flats, okay? So I just traded them, like we've been doing in calendar. I traded out those 10 rods for 100 flats, okay? And then, look, you could also do it like this. You could mark through that and draw a picture of 100 flat. I'm gonna mark through that, and I've traded it out for 100 flat. Okay, so now I have 200 flats, and what does that equal? Remember, the value of that means we're gonna count by hundreds. 100, 200, and down here on my box would go 200. Okay, let's try another one. We're gonna do number 2 together. Remember, the first thing we do, it says write how many 10 rods, okay? So here we go, let's count them. Count with me, point to it, count to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we have 30 10 rods. And we want to see, can we make some trades with those so that it's easier to count? Okay? So let's see. We circle the groups of 10, or we can mark them out to make our 100 flats. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right there is my group of 10s. I'm done with those 10 rods. I'm trading them for 100 flat. Okay? I'm going to count some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can make another one, right? So I'm going to circle that group of 10. I'm going to cross it out because I don't need it anymore because I'm going to make 100 flat. And then I'm going to count some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can make another one. And that is the same thing as another 100 flat. So 30 10 rods is the same thing as how many hundreds? 3. Very good. 30 10 rods, same thing as 300 flats. And what do we call that? What is the value of that? 100, 200, 300. All right, I want you to pause your video and you're gonna work on 3 and 4. Remember, the first thing you do, count how many 10 rods you have. Put that number here. Then you're gonna count them into groups of 10 and circle them to see how many 100 flats you can make. And then you're gonna write the value. All right, so come on back when you are finished. All right, so I have 1 group of 10, 2 groups of 10, 3 groups of 10, 4 groups of 10. So I had 40 10 rods. Once you count them by one, so 40 10 rods. I could make 1, 2, 3, 400 flats. And that is the same as 400. So all 3 of these things mean the same thing. 40 10s is equal to 400. 400 flats is equal to 400. They're the same thing, it just looks different. So we're thinking about this. If I were to give you 40 $10 bills, you would still have $400. So I give you 40 $10 bills, you have $400. If I gave you 4 $100 bills, you still have $400, okay? So we're just showing different ways to write the same number. All right, your last one, you should have had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 10s, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 flats, and that is equal to 500. All right, guys, you did great job today. I know this can be kind of tricky and kind of confusing, but that's okay. Some of the stuff we're doing in second grade is kind of hard, but you guys have the most bright minds and the best drive that I have seen in a long time, and I know you're going to try really hard to understand this, all right? So now that we've done this one, we're going to go to the next page in your book. You're going to go to page 59, and this is going to be the page that you're going to turn in on Seesaw today. You're going to do exactly the same thing, right? You're going to write how many 10 rods. So you're going to count it. It's going to take a little bit, but that's okay. Count all the 10 rods and tell me how many are there. Then circle them to show me that you could trade it for 100 flat. And then tell me what is the total number. You're going to do 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then you're going to turn it in to Miss Gates. All right, guys, have a great afternoon.